Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use sequence function in PySpark. So this will use normally to generate sequence of values and dates by using sequence and explode. So it is to generate a sequence of values. So typically dates are numbers between two date columns, either start and end value, and it is often used with arrays. And if you see syntax, sequence, and we have to provide start and stop. You can say either start date or end date and step. And parameters, if you see start, this column starting value is inclusive. So that means including first value. And expression can be of either of these data type, either numeric, date, or timestamp. So similar way, stop. So this also inclusive of last value. So this also same, all three data types. So similar way, step, and this is optional. Step is optional because default increment is 1. So this also, if you see internal expression, if start is date or timestamp or numeric. So what it returns is it will generate a new column, an array of sequence of values. Values are dates. So by default, step is 1. So when step is 1 is if start is less than or equal to stop. Otherwise, it will -1. Step increment is -1. For date or timestamp, sequence default step is interval 1 day and interval -1 day. If you see, if start is greater than stop, so that means this is start value and this is stop value. So start value is greater because 2023 is greater than 2020. So then step must be negative. So it is vice versa. So first what I'm doing, I'm importing required functions. So mainly sequence, to date, explode. So first I'm creating one sample data frame. So I have these many columns and here what I'm doing, so here I have two date columns. One is start date and end date. Since we are generating manually, so by default, these two columns will get it as string data type. So these two columns I'm converting from string to date type by using to_date function. And if you see here, these two columns start_date and end_date, we are getting as date data type. See these things. So next we'll see how to generate sequence of numbers. So first we'll see numbers, how to generate numbers. So what I'm doing, I'm using with column function and I'm using sequence function on. For sequence function, I'm passing two parameters, start and stop. So first one is start column, that is this one, and stop is end column. And see if you see here, these two columns. I'm considering these two columns. It will give you sequence between these two columns. And see here, start is 5, end is 10. So it will give you sequence of numbers between 5 and 10. If you see here, first value is 5, end value is 10. So it giving values between 5 and 10 with by default increment of 1. See 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 1, 7, 7 plus 1, 8, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 1, 10. So similar way between 3 and 7. See 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Similar way 6 and 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So similar way like this. For each and start, it will generate values. And if you see here, this is array. Since we saw here output, it generates as array type. So it is often used as arrays. So that's why we are getting this output as arrays. So here I'm using same code, but only difference is with step size of 2. So since default value is 1, so we no need to mention it. So here I need a step of 2. I'm using lit 2. So that means start and end value, the increment should be 2. If you see start and end here, see 5 and 10. So earlier we are getting increment by 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if you see here, first value is 5 and it is increment by 2. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. So 9 plus 2, 11. Because it is out of range, so it's not printing. So it's printing only 3. So similar way, 3, first value is 3, increment of 2. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. So our end value. So similarly, between 6 and 10, first value is 6, 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10. Our end value is 10. So similar way, it will generate all values like this. So this you can change to any value. So based on your requirement. So either 2, 3, 4. So whatever requirement you have, you can change it. And if you see this summary, sequence of dates. So initially we discussed, no, so we can generate between dates and numbers. If you see sequence of dates, see syntax is sequence. So if start and end column, if it is a string column, then we are converting to date by using to underscore date, to underscore date of end, and we'll mention lit of 1 day. This is increment. Okay, so similar way, numbers. If you see the syntax, sequence, start, end, and step. So whatever we saw as of now related to these numbers, sequence of numbers. So that's why I used sequence, start, end, and step. If you see start column, end column, and step. And now we'll see scenario for sequence of dates. So generating sequence of dates. So here what we are doing is sequence and we are mentioning start column and end column. And on top of that, I'm selecting required columns. So start underscore date, end underscore date, and whatever our new column, date underscore sequence. If you see our base column, so we are selecting these two columns, start underscore date, end underscore date. So that is these two. So based on these two columns, we are generating sequence. That is this one with column date underscore sequence. So simply I given sequence and I mentioned start and end. So here step I'm not mentioned because by default it will take 1. And if you see here date, start date is 2020 10/25. End date is 23 1/25. So if you see here, our increment is 1. So our first value is, if you try to expand this, see our first value is 2020 10/25. And what is the increment is 1 day. That means see, everything is same 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So like this, it will increment 1 by 1 and it will generate up to values up to this end 2023. See 2020 10th month over, 2020 11th month, 2020 12th month started, and similar way if you go here 2021 2021 started, and see 2022 started, and our end date is around 2023. And if you see here, 2023, it started somewhere here. And our end date is 2023 01/15. So if you see here, our end date 23/01/15. So that means from here to here, increment by 1 day. So 2020, 2023. So those many days it will generate in array format. So similar way here also. So 2013, 10, 11, see first 10, 11, then it will be 12. So 1 minute. Taking time to expand. See, first value is 20, 30, 10, 11, and it will increment by 1 day. So 12, 13, 14, 15, and it will go up to 29, year 29. So that means 2013 to 2029. That means almost 10, 16 years. So 16 years days it will generate. See, it going too long. See here, 2029, 1. So that's why it took so much time to expand. So similar way, it will generate for remaining these also. So you can expand this and you can cross verify this increment by 1 day. Next, generating sequence of months. So this is our syntax. See here, we are not provided anything. If you see here, I'm using with column, I'm using sequence, and I'm mentioning 2 columns, so start and end. And here we have to provide expression interval 1 day. So either we can provide like this by using expression. Okay, so expression interval 1 day, or we can use simply you can use it lit 1. Okay, so you can do either of these method. So if you see summary expression interval 1 day, so correctly defines 1 day interval. If you use lit 1 works since days have fixed lengths. So that means um, every month, number of days will vary. Suppose February, it will be 28 days. So always better to use recommended option is expression. Instead of late, always recommended option is expression. So here I mentioned two, no? So either using expression or late. So recommended option is by using expression because it considers based on days interval. So both method will work, but using expression is more explicit when dealing with PySpark. So this is recommended. So what I'm doing here is I'm using sequence function. I'm mentioning start and end, and I'm mentioning here expression. So earlier, by default, we selected 1 day here, no? So by default is 1 day. So instead of that, here what I'm doing is interval as 1 month. I'm changing to 1 month. And if you see here, 20, 20, 10, 25. Okay, so the 10th month, next it is increment by month. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, up to, up to, we have 23, 1, January. So it ended up to 2022, 12th month, because here 15 is there, but here we have 25 is there. So since 25 is greater, so it is stopping at 12, 2022, 12. So similar way here also, 13, 10th month is there. If you see here, it will increment by month. See here 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, like this. So for you can cross verify for all the things like this. And if you see this last one, 2021, 626, here we have same here and month is 6 and 7. So that's why we are getting only 1 month here. So it's not giving second month because this is 26 is there, here 12 is there. Suppose this date is 27, then we could have got one more month, 7th month. Okay, so next we'll see how to generate week wise. So now we checked how to month wise. Now we'll go for week wise. So same syntax, what we are doing is in expression interval we are giving 1 week. So what it does is uh, see here 10, 25. First value is 10, 25. Since we given week wise 25 plus 7 we'll get around second. Okay, so week wise, no, 7 days. So that's why we're getting 11, 1. For 11, 11, 1. So for 1, if you add 7 days, we are getting 8. For 8, if you are adding 7 days, we are getting 15. For 15, if you are adding 7 days, 22. So similar way for 22, 29. Then 6. 6 plus 7, 13. So like this, it will go week wise. So similar way for all the rows. If you see here, first 6, 26 is there. If you add 26 to 7 days, 3. Okay, 26 plus 7, 3 will get. For 3, if we add 7, 10 we are getting because our last day is 12. Okay, so this how increment by week. So next we'll see. So as of now, we'll see how to generate sequence, either values or dates, monthly wise, week wise, or day wise. So now what we'll do, it generating in array format, no, all these values or dates. So finally, what we required is we want to explode this. Explode means each value we want in separate row. So what is the explode function will do is set of array elements, it will explode into number of rows. Suppose this array, it has 10 dates, it will convert these 10 days into 10 rows. So I already made one video how to use explode function on array of elements. So you can watch that video to get more clarification. So here what I did is, so for easy explain, so I created 2 columns. So first column is only date, that means sequence I am applying on start date and end date, that is seq underscore date. So what it does is by default it taking 1 day as an increment. See here 10, 20, 20, 10, 25, and it is incrementing by 1 day 25 26 27 28. So like this it will do for all the rows about first column. And second column what it does is on top of this sequence, so first what it does is it will generate sequence of dates between start date and end date by increment of 1 day. On top of that, we are doing explode. See here, now what it going to do is, see we have this array, no, first array, we have array of number of dates. So how many are there? So we have more than 500, 600. We have around 812 elements. And it will generate 812 rows. Okay, so it will generate 812 rows. That means this single array, it will convert to 81 rows. If I try to collapse this, and if you see, so this one, only this particular row, it will generate 81 rows here. See here, 2020, 1025, that is first one. 2020, 1026, see 27, 28, 29. So first it will generate all the elements within this array. Once it completes, then it will come here. It will start this one. So suppose if we have 100 elements, then first it will split to 100 rows, then it will go for this row. So like this, for all the rows, it will split into number of rows. So how it generates is, so total we have 6 rows. Okay, these 6 rows, 6 rows, and these elements will vary uh, between each array. So in first array we saw it has some 812 elements. So maybe second one remaining 6, 5 arrays will have almost a similar amount of data. So that's why here we are seeing this much rows it will generate. So it giving 193 plus rows, but in actual it will be more than this, because in single first array itself we have 800 rows. And maybe if you see second array, it will be more, because see 2029, no? So more rows it will generate. So if you want to get a full number of rows, here you can give this count. So this one dot count, if you give that, it will give you total number of how many rows it generated. Or otherwise, you can add one more column here. So you can use size function on top of this column, so that for each row, no, it will give you size. That means this array, how many rows, how many elements it has. So you can count those many rows. That means overall count you can take it, and you can cross verify with this count. So that will give you the exact figure. So next, so same sequence function, uh, same thing we discussed earlier. So interval of 1 year, same interval of 1 year, and on top of that we are using explode. See here, 2020, 1025, 2023. So total we have 3 years here. So we are getting 3 years here. See here, 3 years, because we given interval of 1 year. So, and on top of this, we are exploding this one, no, sequence underscore explode. If you see here, so first one we have 3 rows. First it will finish this 2022 up to here. It will finish first one, then it will go for second one. This one, this up to, sorry, this, why this is repeating is, since we have 3 3 years, no, so it generating this data. So that's why it repeating 3 times here. Suppose this one, if it has 10 elements, then this it will come up to 10 times it will repeat, and this each element will split here. So this is syntax is same as earlier. So only difference is we used explode function one additionally. Okay, that is the only difference. And so here, what I'm trying to do is I'm creating one data frame that it has date column with a single value. I'm using sequence. So here I'm using 2 underscore date. I'm using lit here. That means hard-coded value I'm giving. This is as start value, 2022 11 as the start value. and today's date. Lit date time date dot today. That means today's date it will print and it will convert to date data type, that is start. So for sequence we mentioned start and stop, and increment we given interval as 1 week, and we given alias as calendar date, that is this one. So our start value is 2022 11, that is 11, and it is increment by 1 week. And if you see here 1, and if you add 7 days to it 8, if you add 7 days to this one 15, 22, 29, 5. So like this uh, week it will get add, and it will print up to today's date. End date is today. Okay, so this is one more way we can do this one. And the same thing, how to achieve by using Spark SQL. So we can write like spark.sql and inside that select function. And since I given hard coded value, this date value, that means this is string value. This first I'm converting by to date type, string to date type by using to_date. So this is my start value and this is my end parameter, and my increment is 1 month. So interval is 1 month. So, and I given alias column name as date, that is date. So now what it does is, if you expand this is, and if you see our first date, see here 2018 11, 2018 11, and we given increment as 1 month. So here first month, second, third, fourth, 5. So like this, 6, no, up to 6. See, up to 6 it will give you. So it will increment by 1 month. Similar way, after doing sequence, I want to do explode. So first what I did is spark.sql. So first I used up to here same syntax. So it will generate this one, this column it will generate. That means array of elements. On top of that, I'm using dot with column, and I'm giving column name as date. That means existing column, it replacing, and what it doing is it doing explode. So that means in this we have total 6 elements. Okay, 6 index, you can see 0 to 5. So it will generate 6 rows here. See, starting is 2018 11, increment by 1 month. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 rows it generating. So similar way how to do in SQL. So in SQL we can use select, we can use sequence function, start value and end value. So we are getting array of elements. So array of it starting from 1 and it is ending with 5 with increment by 1. So next sequence of 5 comma 1, and if you observe at the starting, see what it telling is here. See, if start is greater than stop, then it might be negative. So this interval can be positive 1 day or negative 1 day. So to show that example, if you see here, see second value is stop value is greater. So that's why it is increment by positive 1. But here it is vice versa. So what it does is here increment is -1. So first is 5, and increment by -1, that is 4, and 4 minus 1, that is 5. 4 minus 1, 3. 3 minus 1, 2. 2 minus 1, 1. So this is negative way. That means negative increment. And next, one more example is sequence. We are giving date. This is a string and converting to date type and interval of 1 month. So here total how many months? It's starting with 1 and ending with 8. So that means this this array should have 8 elements. See, it has 0 to 7. And yeah, that's all about this video. So that's all about how to generate a sequence of values and dates by using sequence function in PySpark. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.